Everybody, Norm over here, and this is the gang. This is all the, our latest street guys. And, a lot of you guys have been interested. We've been putting some pictures up from like the history of Norm's rare guitars. And there's a lot of crazy characters that we've been involved with over the years. These are the ones that are in here right now. This is John. That's Joel, who goes to the trade shows with me, and our repairman. Both these guys are our repairmen. That is Michael Lemo. You guys know him from Guitar of the Day.
Shaking Stevens.
And, yes, Shaky Jake. And then we've got, well, I'm going to skip him for a second. We're going to go back to him. We got Todd over there, totally Todd.
How you doing?
We got Nick, English Nick. We got Brandon. But going back to the history of Norm's Rare Guitars, there's one guy who has driven my guitars back from shows for the last 40 years or so.
39.
39 years. Who's counting at this point? That is Frankie D over here.
Woo!
Now,
Legend. Here he is, Frankie Deluxe.
Do a little dance, Frankie.
yeah,
I can't.
Come on.
a little survivor.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
All right.
Listen, for what we're charging for these videos, don't ask for your money back because you didn't pay anything for this crap. But let me just say something. His name is Frank Garcia, but he's known as Frankie D because Frankie used to do some of the craziest things ever in life. When we first met him, he had a horseshoe ring that he bought at a pawn shop in Las Vegas, and he was on a time payment plan on this thing. And they eventually repossessed the ring. He probably paid $5,000 for about a $200 ring. But with the time payments, it didn't hurt as bad until they repossessed it. So, but instead of Frankie Garcia, we named him Frankie D because with some of the crazy stuff he'd do, the D stood for duck. And the duck was, he would come in and leave, when we first met him, we'd leave some deposits on guitars and then not pick them up and forfeit his deposit. And I'd go, Frank, don't leave any money on these guitars because you're just going to walk away from it. You're going to lose money. But he insisted on doing it. He did it a couple more times, and then finally I said, I'm not taking your money anymore. But Frank drove all our equipment back from Dallas for many years. We made the D for Dependable and Deluxe.
Frankie Deluxe.
Dependable. That is true.
Deluxe.
And you can always tell when Frankie's in here.
And desperate.
Dashing and debonair.
And Joel has had a few encounters with Frankie,
Tell him about the Jack Daniels in the parking lot.
No, you tell him.
You tell
He came back, it came late back to the show the one day, and we're like, Frank, where were you? We need inventory done. And he's like, oh man, I got all messed up last night. What were you doing? And then Randy's like, I was in the parking lot with a bottle of Jack Daniels. So he
Happens to the best of us.
Drank a whole bottle of Jack in the parking lot the one night or something happened. That we only get little parts of the stories, not the whole story.
But let me say this.
When Frankie D met Jackie D.
Yeah. Right. Well, Frankie doesn't shut up. So I told him numerous times that if I had to drive back from Dallas with him in a truck, one of us wouldn't be arriving here. I would either go to a gun store, buy a gun, either kill him or kill myself because he would not shut up. And you go, Frank, stop. Please.
But I'll say this, the store is never cleaner when...
That's right. Frank knows how to organize his store better than anybody. And Frank is, we love Frank. And you know that we love you around here when we kind of abuse you a little bit, and so we love to give him a load of crap. But, Frank is part of the Norm's Rare Guitars crew.
Yes,
and he's as important as anybody here.
Woo!
And he's as crazy as anybody I've ever met. But
And got thrown off an airline for
here's another one. Here's another Frank D story. Frankie borrowed my credit card to go to buy an airplane ticket. And what happened was the credit card company had called my wife Marlene, and Marlene knew nothing about it. they actually landed the plane in Las Vegas and dropped him off. And probably that's the worst place in the world to drop him off.
And then
He's
you got
got a
the ring.
gambling problem. And, so,
You got it kind of right, but not right.
All right, tell the
The
story.
plane stopped in Las
a
Vegas.
layover.
It's a layover. So they says it's gonna be here a couple hours. So I said, okay. So I get on the other airline in a couple hours. But I took a cab to the casino.
oh,
And I lost
Oh.
whatever I had, and I missed my flight.
Oh, Norm's pissed.
So I went and got a new ticket with your credit card. So I got a ticket from Las Vegas to.
Marlene goes, who? What
Yeah.
credit card?
Well, anyway, I got on there, and all of a sudden the plane stopped in El Paso. And I go, what's it stopping in El Paso? Well, anyway, I don't know why it stopped. Maybe I didn't know it was going to make a nonstop or whatever. But anyway, when the plane stopped, some guys came in with a suit, and they got on the microphone and says, is there a Frank Garcia aboard here? And I'm looking around, like, there's got to be a lot of Franks. I didn't see nobody raise their hand, so is there a Frank Garcia here? Right here. I want to talk to you, so come up here, bring your bag or whatever. When they took me outside, and they go, you know what? We're going to get you for fraud because you used another person's, you stole their credit card. And I go, I didn't steal no card. It's my boss's card. No, we couldn't get a hold of him or something. They got a hold of his wife, and she said she didn't know anything about it, and you probably did steal it. And I go, no, I didn't steal it. We're going to lock you up. And they locked me in a room for 2 hours.
Oh,
Was it a padded room is the question.
It wasn't padded. So anyway, they got a hold of you, and you told them the real deal, and I couldn't catch a plane out of El Paso. I had to take a Greyhound, and they paid for it.
oh wow.
Well, there you have it. So that's the story, the legend of Frankie D, right here in Norm's Red Guitars. You know, these are all my buddies. We love each other. We love Frankie D, but
Yeah.
Frankie D is not well. And but we just wanted you to know the story and get to know this guy like we know him. And don't ever give him a credit card.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, tell them about the guitar hauling for all the guitar shows and for the homeless in downtown LA.
Right, Frankie comes down and he helps us feed the homeless, and he's an overall good guy. So, in spite of what everybody else says about him, he's actually a good guy.
Aw,
Right?
Frankie.
Frankie.
We love Frankie.
Frankie D.
All these guys, my pals.
All right, play a little something then for Frankie. Play something for Frankie.
To play, but you would have already turned off this video if he would start playing. There you go.
Oh, you forgot
Frankie
to tell
D.
them about I'm the only guy
Frankie
who gets
D.
paid not.
Oh yeah, he's the only guy I know who gets paid not to play. The great Frankie D. And the gang in Norm's Red Guitars.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.